We begin in the United States, where President-elect Donald Trump has continued to promise to crack down against illegal immigration on day one of taking office. With Inauguration Day just about a month away, Donald Trump's rhetoric about deporting over 1 million migrants is increasing. This comes after the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, released data of the number of illegal migrants who are reportedly being marked for deportation. According to the ICE document, 1.5 million migrants have been identified for deportation, with the highest number of undocumented residents being from Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, and El Salvador. The list also includes thousands of migrants from Asia, particularly China and India. Now, the United States has about 7 million undocumented migrants living in the country, with the most being from Mexico, followed by El Salvador, India, Guatemala, and Honduras. Washington has already begun deporting some of the illegal immigrants, particularly those who have a criminal record or ties to drug cartels.
The first thing I thought was, I'm not going to sleep on the floor anymore. I'm not going to be cold anymore. I'm not going to be hungry anymore, and neither are my children. When it sank in that I was landing, that I was in Honduras. When I arrived, I went to my mother's house in Oro, and when I arrived, I sat down and took a deep breath and said I was in Honduras again, and I couldn't believe it. The impact was very strong. It felt like getting hit by a bucket of cold water to realize that I had to start from scratch in a country where I had tried so many times and I could not get off the ground. It was very suffocating for me.
Meanwhile, in an interview with Time magazine last week, Donald Trump said that he would also cut business ties with nations refusing to take back migrants that are going to be deported from the United States.
I'll get them into every country, or we won't do business with those countries. I want them out, and the countries have got to take them back. If they don't take them back, we won't do business with those countries, and we will impose substantial tariffs on them.
Now, the United States has already designated at least 15 nations as uncooperative in the deportation process, with some of the major countries being India, Russia, China, Ukraine, and Cuba. With Donald Trump threatening to impose sanctions on these countries for refusing to take back migrants, Washington could be staring at a global trade war and strained diplomatic tensions. Time and again, prominent economic and business experts have warned that the tariffs would increase the cost of living for average Americans and even impact the U.S. stock market.
It reacts to tariffs, whether or not, they have an impact that could slow growth or create a stickier inflationary environment will be dependent on what's actually implemented. And I'm sure the administration will be very thoughtful about how it proceeds. It's the same thing with immigration policy and deportations.
Now, if Donald Trump goes ahead with his plans of deportations and tariffs, American taxpayers will not just be paying for the high logistical cost of the mass deportations, but even for daily use products, as India and China remain among the 10 trading partners for the United States, particularly for mobile phones, pharmaceutical goods, and other products.